I spent an entire afternoon at Dollar Tree buying every single garden product I could find, and then I actually tested all of them in my real backyard. No staging, no cherry-picking the results. Some of these worked so well, I'm still using them today. Some were a complete waste of a dollar, and at least 2 of them genuinely surprised me in ways I did not see coming. 10 hacks, honest verdicts. Let's find out what actually works. Welcome back to Daily Garden Fix, the channel where we test, try, and sometimes fail so your garden doesn't have to. I want to be upfront with you about something. I was genuinely skeptical going into this. I've seen these Dollar Tree garden hacks all over YouTube and social media, and a lot of them look great in the 60-second video, but fall apart the moment you actually try them in a real garden. So I decided to put 10 of the most popular and most talked about ones to a proper test. Not just here's how it looks on day 1, but actually using them, growing with them, and seeing what holds up. I'm testing hacks across planters, tools, garden organization, and general growing aids, all things you can walk into any Dollar Tree and grab today. For each one, I'm giving you my honest verdict: pass, fail, or surprising, because surprising is its own category when something works in a way you completely didn't expect. If you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you catch every new video, because we do this kind of real-world testing regularly, and it's always worth watching before you spend money on garden supplies. Let's get into it. Hack number 1. Dollar Tree Colander as a hanging planter. The hack: use a Dollar Tree plastic colander as a self-draining hanging planter. The built-in holes do double duty: drainage at the bottom, hanging wire threaded through the sides. How I tested it: I grabbed 2 colanders, threaded garden wire through 3 evenly spaced holes near the rim to create a hanging cradle, lined the inside with a Dollar Tree coffee filter to keep soil from falling through the drainage holes at the bottom, filled it with potting mix, and planted trailing nasturtiums in one and a compact cherry tomato variety in the other. I hung both from a shepherd's hook and left them for 6 weeks. The honest result: the drainage is genuinely excellent, better than most cheap hanging planters I've bought from garden centers. The colander never stayed waterlogged, and the nasturtiums thrived. The cherry tomato got heavy as it grew and caused the wire to tilt, so for anything with significant fruit weight, I'd add a 4th anchor point on the wire for balance. But as a planter, this thing works. Verdict: pass, and a strong one. The drainage alone makes it worth it. Use it for herbs, trailing flowers, or lightweight greens, and you'll be very happy. Hack number 2. Plastic storage bins as raised garden beds. The hack: use plastic storage bins, the longer rectangular style, as mini raised garden beds for herbs, greens, or shallow-rooted vegetables. How I tested it: I bought 4 bins, drilled 5 drainage holes in the bottom of each one using a basic drill bit, filled them with a mix of potting soil and compost, and planted 1 each with lettuce, radishes, green onions, and basil. I set them on my patio in full sun and tracked them for 8 weeks. The honest result: 3 out of 4 were a genuine success. The lettuce, radishes, and green onions all performed beautifully. These are shallow-rooted crops that don't need depth, and the bins gave them exactly what they needed. The basil struggled more than I expected, not because of the container, but because my particular patio spot got afternoon shade that basil doesn't love. That's a placement issue, not a hack issue. The one real limitation is longevity. After 1 full season outdoors, the plastic on 2 of my bins started showing UV stress and slight brittleness. They'll last a season or 2, not indefinitely. Verdict: pass with a caveat. Excellent for 1 or 2 seasons, especially for quick-growing crops like salad greens and radishes. Don't expect them to last 5 years, but for the price, you can replace them every season and still come out way ahead of buying proper raised bed planters. Hack number 3. Bamboo skewers as plant stakes. The hack: use Dollar Tree bamboo cooking skewers as lightweight plant stakes for seedlings, small pepper plants, or any stem that needs just a little support early in the season. How I tested it: I grabbed a pack of Dollar Tree bamboo cooking skewers, used them to support young pepper seedlings after transplanting, young tomato plants before they were large enough for a proper cage, and tied them to my raised beds by marking plant rows. I pushed them 6 to 8 inches into the soil and used Dollar Tree twist ties to attach stems loosely. The honest result, for seedlings and young plants up to about 12 inches tall, they work perfectly. They're sturdy enough for light support, they're natural and biodegradable, and having 50 of them for $1 means you can stake every single seedling in your garden without thinking twice about the cost. Where they fall short is with anything mature and heavy. A full-grown pepper plant in fruit will snap these, and a tomato plant will laugh at them within a month. Verdict: pass for seedlings, fail for mature plants. Use them exactly where they belong. Early season support for young transplants and seedlings, row markers, and tying up lightweight climbing plants. Don't ask them to do more than that. Hack number 4. Dollar Tree dish drying rack as seed packet organizer. The hack: stand a Dollar Tree dish drying rack upright in your potting shed, garage, or garden table and use the vertical slots to organize seed packets by category. So instead of digging through a tangled pile of packets every spring, everything stands up, faces forward, and is instantly findable. How I tested it: I took one standard Dollar Tree dish rack, sorted my entire seed collection into categories: tomatoes, peppers, herbs, greens, and flowers, and slotted the packets vertically into the rack's dividers. I labeled each section with a Dollar Tree adhesive label and set it on my potting bench. The honest result: I genuinely did not expect to like this as much as I do. This is now a permanent fixture on my potting bench. The slots hold packets perfectly upright and visible. You can flip through them like a file folder to find exactly what you need, and because it's a dish rack, it already has a built-in drip tray at the bottom which catches any soil or debris. And it costs $1. Verdict: surprisingly good. This is the hack I came in most skeptical about and left most impressed by. If you have more than 20 seed packets, go get a dish rack right now. It solves a real organizational problem better than products designed specifically for seed storage. Hack number 5. Plastic tablecloths as garden mulch or weed barrier. The hack: use plastic tablecloths as a temporary weed barrier or season-extending mulch layer. Lay flat between rows and pin the edges down with garden stakes or rocks. How I tested it: I laid dark-colored Dollar Tree tablecloths between my tomato rows to suppress weeds and retain soil warmth. I cut X-shaped slits at each plant location, eased the tablecloth around the base of each plant, and pinned the edges with Dollar Tree binder clips attached to small garden stakes. The honest result: the weed suppression worked well for the first 4 to 5 weeks. After that, weeds started finding their way through the X slits and around the edges where the tablecloth didn't lie completely flat. The bigger issue was that the plastic tablecloths aren't UV stabilized like proper landscape fabric. By week 6, they were becoming brittle and tearing when I walked near them. They also don't breathe, which created some moisture retention issues after heavy rain. This works as a very short-term solution, early season weed suppression for a few weeks while plants get established, but don't expect it to last the season. Verdict: fail as a long-term solution, pass as a short-term fix. If you're in a pinch at the start of the season and need to suppress weeds for a few weeks while you get proper mulch, this buys you time. Don't expect it to last the season.
Hack number 6. Dollar Tree tension rods as tomato cage extenders. The hack: Dollar Tree tension rods, the kind used for curtains, can be pressed into the top rings of standard tomato cages to extend their height by an extra foot or two, giving indeterminate tomato varieties the extra reach they always seem to need by midsummer. How I tested it: I bought 4 tension rods and pressed them vertically into the top ring of my existing wire tomato cages, extending upward and using the tension mechanism to lock them at my desired height. I then tied tomato stems to the extended rods using Dollar Tree twist ties as the plants grew past the cage top. The honest result? This one genuinely impressed me. My indeterminate tomatoes always outgrow their cages by August and start flopping over, and I've never found a great cheap solution for it. The tension rods gave me an extra 18 inches to 2 feet of vertical support. They locked securely into the cage rings, and they held up through multiple summer storms without collapsing.
The plant stayed upright, the fruit stayed off the ground, and the airflow through the plant stayed good. Verdict? Surprisingly good. This solved a real problem I've had every single tomato season. If you grow indeterminate tomatoes and your cages always run short, this is a dollar solution to a genuinely frustrating problem. Hack number 7. Dollar Tree spray bottles for foliar feeding. The hack? Use Dollar Tree spray bottles to apply diluted liquid fertilizer, homemade compost tea, or diluted neem oil directly to plant leaves, a practice called foliar feeding that delivers nutrients quickly through the leaf surface rather than through the roots. How I tested it? I filled 2 Dollar Tree spray bottles, one with diluted fish emulsion fertilizer at the recommended label rate, one with diluted neem oil for pest prevention, and used them on my pepper and squash plants twice a week for 4 weeks. I compared treated plants against untreated control plants in the same bed. The honest result? The spray bottles themselves worked fine, good even, mist, comfortable trigger, no clogging with either solution. The foliar feeding results were solid on the peppers, which showed noticeably darker, glossier foliage compared to the control plants within 2 weeks. The neem oil application helped manage the early aphid pressure I was seeing on the squash. Honestly, though, the verdict here is less about Dollar Tree and more about foliar feeding in general. It works, and having a dedicated, cheap spray bottle for each solution means no cross-contamination. Verdict? Pass. The bottles do exactly what you need them to do. Label each one clearly with a permanent marker so you never accidentally spray neem oil when you meant to spray fertilizer, and rinse them thoroughly between uses. Hack number 9. Dollar Tree plastic cups as seed starting pots. The hack? Use Dollar Tree plastic cups as individual seed starting containers. They're the right depth for most seedlings, they're clear enough to check root development through the sides, and they're cheap enough that you can start dozens of seeds without worrying about the investment. How I tested it? I used a nail heated over a flame to punch 3 drainage holes in the bottom of 20 plastic cups, filled them with seed starting mix, and started tomatoes, peppers, basil, and marigolds, 5 cups of each. I set them in a Dollar Tree baking tray to catch drainage and placed them under my grow light. The honest result? Germination rates were identical to my standard seed starting trays. This tells me the container itself isn't limiting germination at all. The clear sides were a genuine bonus. I could see root development without disturbing the seedling, which helped me time transplanting perfectly. The cups held up through the full 6-week seed starting period without cracking or leaking. The one issue, the cups are slightly too tall for the shallowest seedling heat mats, so bottom heat distribution wasn't perfect. For most home setups, this won't matter. Verdict? Pass. Cheap, effective, and the clear sides give you a root visibility advantage that most commercial seed starting trays don't offer. Use a heated nail for cleaner drainage holes and you're all set. Hack number 10. Dollar Tree mesh produce bags as pest netting. The hack? Slip Dollar Tree mesh produce bags over individual fruit clusters, small cabbages, or young plants to protect them from birds, squirrels, and larger insects without blocking sunlight or airflow. How I tested it? I had a serious squirrel problem with my strawberries last season. They'd wait until berries were perfectly ripe and eat every single one before I could pick them. I slipped mesh bags over clusters of developing strawberries, securing the bag opening at the stem with the Dollar Tree twist tie. I left them on until harvest and tested 10 clusters this way against 10 unprotected clusters. The honest result? 9 out of 10 bagged clusters made it to harvest fully intact and untouched by squirrels. The one that failed had a bag that came loose at the tie point. The unprotected clusters? 6 out of 10 were partially or fully eaten before I could pick them. The mesh is open enough that sun and air reach the fruit normally, and the berries ripened on the exact same schedule as the unprotected ones.
This also worked well over young cabbage heads to deter cabbage moths from laying eggs, though for serious pest pressure, you'll want proper row cover for full beds. Verdict? Surprisingly good. I started this test convinced it was going to look ridiculous and barely work. It works extremely well for protecting individual fruits from birds and squirrels, which is one of the most frustrating problems in a home garden. I'm using this every strawberry season from now on. Hack number 10. Dollar Tree binder clips as trellis clips. The hack? Use Dollar Tree binder clips, the metal spring-loaded office clips, as reusable trellis clips to attach climbing plant stems to wires, stakes, or trellis netting without tying knots or buying specialized garden clips. How I tested it? I used medium and large Dollar Tree binder clips to train cucumber vines, pole bean stems, and climbing roses along trellis wire in my garden. I clipped the binder clip to the wire, then looped the metal handles around the plant stem loosely so the stem sat in the handle loop without being pinched or damaged. The honest result? These work almost perfectly. The clip grips the wire firmly, the handle loop holds stems securely without cutting into them, and because they're metal, they hold up outdoors through rain and sun much better than plastic twist ties, which eventually become brittle and snap. They're also completely reusable season after season. At end of season, I pull them all off, wipe them down, and store them for next year. The only limitation is size. The smallest binder clips are too tight for anything thicker than a pencil-width stem, and the largest clips are too heavy for very delicate seedling stems. The medium size is the sweet spot for most garden applications. Verdict? Pass. Genuinely one of the best dollar-per-value hacks on this entire list. Reusable, durable, and they grip better than most purpose-made garden clips I've paid real money for. Alright, let's recap the scoreboard quickly. Full passes go to the colander hanging planter, the storage bin raised beds, the spray bottles, the plastic cup seed starters, and the binder clip trellis clips. 5 solid hacks that work exactly as advertised, and I would recommend without hesitation. The bamboo skewers get a conditional pass. Excellent for seedlings, useless for mature plants, so know your use case before you rely on them. The plastic tablecloth weed barrier is a fail for long-term use, but a genuine short-term fix if you're in a pinch early season. And the 3 that genuinely surprised me, the ones I came in most skeptical about and left most impressed by, are the dish rack seed organizer, the tension rod tomato cage extenders, and the mesh bag fruit protectors. All 3 solved real specific garden problems better than I expected, and all 3 are now permanent parts of how I garden. Here's the takeaway from all of this testing. Dollar Tree garden hacks are not all created equal, and the ones that work best aren't always the ones that look most impressive on social media. The dish rack nobody films because it's boring. The binder clip doesn't make a dramatic thumbnail, but both of them solve real problems in real gardens every single day. The best way to use Dollar Tree for your garden is to look at what you actually need, not what looks cool in a video, and ask whether a $1 version of that thing would do the job. More often than you'd expect, the answer is yes. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 10 hacks are you most surprised by? And have you tried any Dollar Tree garden hacks yourself that I didn't cover today? Drop everything in the comments below because I genuinely read them all, and your suggestions have actually shaped future testing videos on this channel. If you're not subscribed yet, now's a great time. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you catch every new video. We test, we try, we occasionally fail, and we always tell you the truth about what works in a real garden. Click this video right here for more budget garden ideas, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy gardening!